if you want to give it up, that's your choice. If you are harmed because of it, then you will be held responsible. Any questions? Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
According to what you said about the pets, so most of the time, generally it's said that pets is for monkeys in Africa, because I'm from Africa. And then what I wanted to say is that the Islamic countries, Islamic states, they don't defend the position you have set right now. Because always it's said in the media everywhere that it's from monkeys from Africa. And we are saying here that it's a punishment from God. So I think today there are some Islamic countries, but there is no Islamic government. Because the position, nobody is defending this statement in the media. You have Islamic countries, they are media, they are everything, but they don't defend the case. They don't defend it scientifically, they don't defend it in the media. I'm very sorry, very sorry. You have to agree with me that there is no Islamic government. There are some Islamic countries. It's very sorry.
Okay, that was just a comment that the reality of the world today is that we have many Muslim countries but no Islamic countries. We have countries which are populated by Muslim people, but they're really not governed Islamically, where Muslims should stand up on a world scale and make known our position to the world. We should stand firm. We should stand firm against all of the evils that are being, promoted, whether it's through the UN, because the UN has their own agenda promoting certain things. Muslims should stand firm against these things. And that is just, as I said, it's a sign of the times. But for us, what is our responsibility today? Because we as individuals here, for us to say, okay, it is your duty to stand up as a representative of the government of Malaysia and tell the world, oh, you can't do that, you're not in a position. So what are you supposed to do? What do we do then? Then we need to try to learn Islam to the best of our ability. We need to try to have this understanding and to propagate that understanding to those around us. Each and every one of us is responsible to the level that he or she can be effective. We have a duty to know the religion, to practice it, and to teach it. As the Prophet ﷺ said, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنِ وَعَلَّمَهُ. The best of you is one who learns the Qur'an and teaches it to others. Not just one who learns the Qur'an, but one who teaches it to others. So we need to try to apply that principle. Alaykum salam.
You speak about the test and the punishment. How do we as Muslims differentiate which is the test from God and which is the punishment from God?
Okay. Every test can be a punishment if we don't recognize that there is a test in it. Every test which we don't recognize becomes a punishment. Every test that we recognize becomes a test. It's not a matter that, you differentiate in your life, okay? You're having calamities happen to you each day. This day you say, oh, that's a test. Next day you say, no, that's a punishment. No. It's all a test. If you recognize, you just look at it all as a test. It's all a test. How you handle it determines whether you grow with it, you benefit from it, or it's just a punishment. It becomes a punishment when you as an individual do not have patience. When you're not patient with it, then it doesn't purify you. When you're impatient, when you explode, when you do what you shouldn't do, you do what is haram, as a result of it, then it was just plain old punishment. Could you please explain the meaning of a hadith sahih? A person living in this world practicing the way of life of a good Muslim, but if he was created to be a companion of hell, just before he or she died, the person will die doing the deeds of the unbeliever, and the person will enter hell, and vice versa. Okay, this is a hadith in Sahih Muslim. Muhammad ﷺ said, some people will do the deeds of the people of paradise throughout their lives until just before they die, till they reach a bow's length away from paradise. Then they will start to do the deeds of the people of hell, and they will die in that state and go to hell. Okay? How is that hadith explained? What this hadith refers to is a person who was doing the deeds of the people of paradise externally. In other words, they were in a Muslim environment, so everybody else was doing these things, so they did these things. Such a person will continue to do those things until before they die, some period before they die, Allah will give a chance to expose them for who they are. It may be on their deathbed. You see a person, who he's been practicing, appears to be practicing Islam all the way to the deathbed. He's on the deathbed, he's dying, and though, we're supposed to tell the people who are dying to repeat La ilaha illallah, there is no God worthy of worship but Allah. We should encourage them to let this be their last thoughts and expressions before leaving this world. And we're saying to the person, say, brother, uncle, father, whatever, say La ilaha illallah. But this person will be saying to you, I have this money in the bank, I want you to use it to buy this, and I want you to do this, and till the last moment he leaves this world only thinking about the things of this world. He can't even say La ilaha illallah. It won't come off his tongue. These are the signs before you. Allah will not allow a hypocrite to die in what appears to be a state of belief. No, He will expose them. That's what it speaks of. Similarly, He said there will be people who will do the deeds of the people of hell throughout their lives until they reach close to their death, and they start to do the deeds of the people of paradise, and they will go into paradise because of it. Meaning that there will be some people who, because of their environment, everybody around them was evil. They were involved in an evil thing. Their parents were criminals, whatever. So they grew criminals. So if you looked at them externally, you'd say, this is a criminal. This person, look at his life he's living. But because he has a desire in his heart for good, Allah will not let him die. He will open a way for him to find the correct way, repent to God, correct himself, and die in a state of belief. So this is just telling us that we cannot judge things by the external. But ultimately, God knows the internal, and His will prevail. Further question?
Please take note, brother. We have time for two last questions. Thank you.
You did mention in the talk that the purpose of creation is to worship Allah. Can you give a summarized or concise definition of worship and and examples in doing things which is good, abstaining from the bad, and doing the mundane affairs? How are the doing of the mundane affairs can be considered as worshiping?
Okay, I thought I explained that actually, but maybe you came in late. Anyway, the point is, we said, just as a repetition of what was said before, that worship in Islam basically is submission to God's will, to the commandments of God. That's the essence of worship. Now, in that submission, we love God. But God has told us, in kuntum tuhibbun Allah, if it is that you love God, fattabi'uni yuhbibkum Allah. Follow me, the messenger of Allah, and Allah will love you. If we seek God's love, then we achieve it through following God's instructions. It's just like somebody, says